Sometimes when you're developing websites, it's a bit of a pain in the butt to get your users to type in a date. Now, specifically if you're working with a database and you need to be able to have a very specific date format, for example, something like this. So, you have the year, then the month, then the day, or sometimes it's something like this. And then you just wonder what the numbers are. And so it's a bit of a pain because sometimes people just want to type something like this, or whatever, right? So it's hard to get users to type in a very specific format, even if you give them a placeholder that says something like, and then you request that they type that in. Sometimes it's just easier to just pick a date on a calendar. It's so much better. And that's where jQuery UI Datepicker comes in. This is probably one of my favorite jQuery UI methods because it's so useful and it's super helpful to the user, especially. And so we're gonna start doing that. So I have a datepicker.html file here. Go ahead and put that in your jQuery UI directory. Get it from your course files. Basically, I just have two labels with inputs within them with the class of date, just to give kind of a start date, end date sort of look. And then I'm going to jump into my script.js here and start working with the date picker. Now, the basic date picker syntax is just this. So I'm going to select those two inputs with the class of date and then just date picker. And then now we will have date pickers on our little web page here. So just click in the input and that will trigger it. And here's our date picker. So now you can toggle through the months, select date, and there you go. You got the month, day, and year. End date, same sort of deal. So there you go. So that helps and is very useful because then the user could just go ahead and just click on a calendar, and it's so much easier to visualize and to use rather than to have to type in the specific date. Now, there are a lot of extra features and parameters that you could throw into the date picker method, and we're going to do those right now. So you can do things like show additional months or show the previous month. So how sometimes, like right here, this right here would be September, the last few days of September, but you can't choose them. So you have to go back and then click on it. But then it just leaves these blank gaps. What if you just want to be able to see the next month? Well, you can do that by simply, as you throw in here as an extra parameter, I'm going to say show other months, true. Save that, and that will give you the ability to show extra months. But you can't click them. They just show them. So it looks nice, but it doesn't work nice. Now, all you really have to do is just throw another parameter in here. So comma, select other months. True. Save that. And then now you can actually select those other months, even if they look grayed out. So there you go. So I'm going to say I'm in August here, but I actually want July 29th. So pretty cool. Now, if you want to be able to do something like have what they call a button panel where you can choose today's date, because what if you're way over here and you go, oh darn, I need to choose today, so I got to scroll back, and it's kind of annoying. You can actually throw in the jQuery UI button panel, and that's just show button panel true. Check it out. This is what the button panel is all about. So today and done. So if you just want to go through and say, whoops, today. There's today. There you go. Or if you're just going through and you go, nah, never mind, I'm done. So that's what the button panel is. It's not necessary, but it's a little bonus if you want to have extra usability thrown in there. Now, you can also throw in additional features that let you change the month and the year. So what if you're in your date picker and you go, dang, I need to choose July 2020. I got to do this. That is annoying, right? So you can fix that by adding another parameter in here, and that would be the change month, true, and then comma, change year, true. There you go. Now those options here in the method will let you have some additional features here. So you can see July 2015. So I need to say, I'm going to go October 2021. Boom, chose the date real quick. Same deal on this one. You could just toggle through like normal, but you can just go ahead and quickly choose what you need and say you're way over in 2021 and you go, whoops, click today, back here. Sweet. Okay. Now, what if you wanted to show more months? Like instead of just this month, what if you wanted just like kind of a jumbo calendar date picker? Well, you can do that by using the option number of months and then just use an integer. Let's say 4. Let's see what that looks like. 4 months. Now, it's a little bit big, so it's kind of too large. What if we just said 2 months? Whoops, 2 months. There we go. Now refresh. 2 months. That's better. But the UI is a little bit off here. The design, that's because this one, I'm able to choose kind of an actual month and a year. So I'm just going to turn that off. So change month, change year. I'm just going to go back to false, just so you can still see it here. And now that looks a bit better. So now you could toggle between a couple of months. And you see this a lot on airline websites, in fact, when I think about it. When you're trying to choose your departure and your arrival or your departure and return dates, and it shows you kind of the first couple months. At least I recognize this sort of functionality from WestJet's website. Anyway, now you can also restrict dates. What if you wanted to restrict dates in the past? You say you didn't want people to choose something, let's say you didn't want people to be able to choose yesterday or a week ago because that's too early. Or, let's say you didn't want people to be able to choose further than 2 weeks ahead or a year. Well, you can do that using the restrict date options. And that just is min date. And then the syntax for this is simply, there's a number of different ways. You could say, if I only wanted to go back one day, you just say -1. So this, I'll show you what that looks like. Min date means you can only go back to yesterday. You can't actually choose anything before yesterday. And I won't even let you scroll back here. Or what if you wanted to just say today? So I'm going to say 0. And you can only choose today and beyond. You can't choose yesterday. Now, what if you wanted to go further back? Well, you could say something like minus, or in a string, -1 week. Or you could do something like -1 day or -1 year. So let me just show you what these do. So -1 day. This is another way of doing it. -1 day, so yesterday. Or -1 week. And then that will give you a week previous. Now you could do the same. You can add more if you say -1 week and -2 or 3 days. So a week and 3 days is as far back as you can go. So I got a week and 1, 2, 3. Whoops. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Kind of just looks a little funny here. So there you go. That's how that works. Now you can also go in the future. So I'm just going to change this back to -1. And you can go max date. And you could do the same with max date. You could say +4, or you could do in strings something like +1 week and +5 days. So a week and 5 days max is how far you can go forward. So let's see what that looks like. So end date. You can go yesterday, and you can go week and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. So you kind of have a restricted date range for whatever reason. If you're booking, say, for a wedding or an event, or booking flights or whatever, something like that. Booking a schedule, say if you wanted to set up like a coaching website where you wanted to, coach people on Skype, but you had a restricted date range from that day. You didn't want people to book you a year in advance because you don't know what you're going to do in a year. You might be vacationing. You might be busy. You might be having a baby. I don't know. But, maybe a week in advance is okay, or a week and 5 days. So, yeah, that's how the date picker works. It's really great. It works nice. It's one of my favorite ones. And enjoy it. Play around with it. Go to the jQueryui.com website and go to the date picker. And then you could toy around with all the examples and check out all the new stuff. So, yeah, see you in the next lecture.